In this problem, we're utilizing two do-while loops, and this is the last version of the previous concepts we've been basing on. So in the first do-while loop, you can see that we are initiating the orange button being pressed. So if the orange button is pressed, we will move on to the second page. If it's not pressed, then nothing will happen. And as you can see, as we move on to the next page, two messages will pop up, the ones with the arrow increments or the gray quits button. And as you can see, going into our second do while loop, we are initiating, once we get to the next page, whether to push the left arrow button, the right arrow button, or the grade button. So starting with the value of x equals 1, if the left arrow is pushed, then the increment will go down by 1. So then essentially 1, x equals 1 would have 1 subtracted from it. If the right arrow is pushed, then the increment will go up by 1, meaning 1 would be added to 1 and so forth. And if x is less than 0, or anything to that pertain, x will equal 0. Essentially, if we push the left arrow past 0, then nothing will happen. And if the gray button is pushed, then the program will be exited. So when we go to the brick itself, once we run and compile and run the program, you can see that we're going to get the opening page which says push orange button to start. So once we push the orange button, it's going to take us to the increments and quits buttons page. So you can see the arrow increment message and gray quits message is displayed, as long as our first value, which is x equal 1, which we defined, and which is corresponding squared and square root values. So we're going to start off with the left arrow. If the left arrow is pushed, you can see everything goes to 0. The value goes to 0 along with the corresponding x squared and squared values. And if we go push the left button one more time, you can see nothing will happen. It will not go to negative and will stay at 0. So that is the left arrow being pushed. And then we're going to push the gray button to quit. And then we're going to run and compile the program one more time. Again, we get the orange buttons page once we press it. Now we're going to push the right arrow. So when we push the right arrow, you can see it's going to go up to 2 with its corresponding squared and square root values. And then we can go up to that. So 3, 4, all the way to 10. Oh, no, we can actually go anything above 1 in this instance. So you can see with the right arrow, we can go up into infinity and it will display its squared and square root values accordingly. And then once we pick or press the gray button again, it exits. So in all, with this program, we used two do while loops in order to first initiate the orange button press, and then for the second do while loop, we initiated the left arrow being pushed or the right arrow being pushed, as well as the gray button being pushed. So that is all. Thank you.